welcome to HITC Sport, and yes, I am back. Hope y'all had a new year, but I am fucking dying. I basically spent the last 2 weeks drinking myself into oblivion, and now feel like I'm going to cough up a fucking lung. So basically lads, this is a forewarning. Get out while you fucking can. This is going to be an absolute shambles of a video. Anyway, what it is let's take a look at every Premier League club and their sort of most ridiculous non-story of 2018. Like, you know, Sterling getting a tattoo of a gun. Arsenal. Remember when Arsenal fans spent 3 years screaming into a camera to force out Arsene Wenger? Surely when that finally worked, you think, alright, just give the new fella a bit of time. No.
New manager, you've got to give him time.
I was thinking today that Wenger was picking this team. I thought maybe he's upstairs picking it himself.
Give it time.
No, give him time. You know Bellerin is crap.
You've got to give a new manager some time. It's the first game against Man City. It's the first game.
Oh, you don't see it, do ya?
Friday 24th of August. First Premier League manager to be sacked, Unai Emery.
3 months and 2 results into his reign, we are told that he is the most at risk of being the first Premier League manager to be sacked this season.
Tony Adams was also crawling out of the woodwork after the first game, saying, I don't know what he's been doing for the past 6 weeks. Even Sam Allardyce was at it, saying Emery's tactics was a stupid way of playing. Yeah, if it was up to Sam, Arsenal would be sticking a fridge up front and spend the whole 90 minutes lumping the ball up to him. Bournemouth. Okay, to be honest, I couldn't really find anything for Bournemouth, but if you do, tell me, let me know in the comment section below. What was the most ridiculous non-story about Bournemouth? Brighton. Katie Price dating Brighton footballer Shane Duffy. Who the f cares? Seriously, this belongs in a fucking edition of Heat magazine. Something you pretend to read in the waiting room of a fucking dentist. Does anyone really care that Shane Duffy was sticking it to Jordan? A woman who was sucking off Peter Andre in the jungle back when Duffy was collecting Pokemon cards. Basically, in other words, 26-year-old male has sex with woman whose vagina is basically big enough to fit the entire cast of Game of Thrones. Burnley. Okay, this wasn't so much a non-story for the papers as it was just an absolute joke. I'm sorry, Burnley fans, alright? But the fact you booed Gaetan Bong for reporting what he thought was racial abuse, I mean, what? No, fair enough, maybe Jay Rodriguez wasn't actually being racist against him, but clearly Bong thought he was, so booing him just absolutely makes no sense. Cardiff City. Look, we all know Neil Warnock has the temper of a heavily pregnant woman, so you can imagine he was pretty pissed off at losing at home to title rivals Wolves, especially after his team missed 2 last-minute penalties. But really, do we need the big fallout with Nuno Espirito Santo on the bench, calling him every name under the sun because he celebrated a bit too hard? Christ above, thank Christ Warnock doesn't manage Everton. He'd probably have tried to stab Klopp in the car park. Chelsea. How childish is this? Willian erases Antonio Conte with cup emojis. You're literally sticking 3 trophies over the man who just coached your club to an FA Cup and a league title the year before. You swear William was about 5 years old? Crystal Palace. Brighton fan arrested for throwing pie at Crystal Palace star Wilfred Zaha. Again, not so much a non-story, more just an indictment of the sad bastards who inhabit the world we live in. Imagine having to explain to your kids that you've just been arrested for throwing a pie at another grown man. Everton. Here, Everton players as angry birds. Fulham. Alexander Mitrovic would get into any side in the world. TalkSport presenter. Listen, I know Adrian Durham makes a habit of just saying things that would get most people chucked in a mental hospital, but this one was just, like, what? Alexander Mitrovic, the man who couldn't give us Hazelou in the Newcastle team, is apparently one of the greatest strikers in the world. No! According to Durham, the only teams in world football who Mitrovic wouldn't start for are Barcelona and Newcastle. Please, somebody take the mic away from that man before he hurts himself. Huddersfield. Huddersfield player accidentally flashes his willy live on TV to millions worldwide during Premier League match against Bournemouth. Now, I know, to work at the Sun, you essentially have to leave your morals at the front door. But Christ above, the journalists there probably have their credentials scribbled over the back of a KFC menu in brightly coloured crayons. For his own sake, I hope this fella didn't pump 9 grand into 2 degrees, because this is not journalism. Leicester City. Leicester ace Danny Simpson fronts anti-Nike blitz despite having a domestic abuse conviction.
When we're training, when we are on the pitch,
it takes focus,
dedication, no hesitation. We have to work together.
Support each other
As part of a team, a family, a community.
just like your community.
Make the right choice. Stay safe. Don't let us down.
Lives, not knives.
Lives, not knives.
So in fairness, the acting here is about as wooden as a Keanu Reeves master class. But I think most people were missing the point when they started screaming from the high heavens that Danny Simpson was involved in this, despite the fact that he'd attacked his girlfriend a few months before. Come on lads, it's about preventing knife crime. Bigger picture please. Liverpool. This wasn't confirmed or anything, but it came out over the summer that Trent Alexander-Arnold, yep, the fella who himself looks like he was spat out of his mother's womb about 20 minutes ago, was chatting up a pregnant woman. And this was apparently supposed to be something society's interested in. Man City. Well, the rise Raheem Sterling's story has been done to death at this stage, so I'm not going to go back into it again. Especially considering I'm violently ill and just want to spit this shambles of video before I go back to bed. But you remember the story. Sterling gets a tattoo of a gun on his leg as a homage to his late father, and the media react to it as if he's just got a swastika burned into his fucking forehead. Man United. Marcus Rashford and Jesse Lingard head out for lunch, and inseparable Manchester United pals even parked their 60 grand Range Rover and 185 grand Bentley next to each other. I'm sorry, two friends head out to grab lunch together and end up parking their cars next to it. Again, lads, journalism has just gone to the fucking dogs. Newcastle United's Kieran Clark knocked out a Magaluf bar attack. Right, Kieran, I know you're trying to integrate yourself into Newcastle life, but I don't think that should necessarily extend to wanting to emulate those cockwombles from Geordie Shore. Like, what was a professional footballer doing partying in Magaluf? A destination strictly for 17-year-old students to puke all over the beach, scare the locals, and stick their penis in anything that resembled a circle. Clark, you're nearly 30 years old. The only reason you probably got knocked out is because everyone probably thought you were the next Jimmy Savile. Southampton striker Charlie Austin's wife, Bianca, sizzles on Barbados beach in bikini. Who gives a fuck? Seriously, what person really gives a bollocks how Charlie Austin's missus spent her fucking holidays? I don't even care how my family spent it, although knowing my uncle, 4 lines of coke off the arse of a Japanese hooker. I don't see him much. Tottenham. FA apologises for mocking Harry Kane on FA Cup Twitter feed. Imagine being a grown man and actually getting upset because you've been made fun of on the internet. Thank Christ Harry doesn't have my geek. After a week he'd be ready to jump off the bridge. Especially considering when he speaks he sounds like he's got a pair of socks shoved into his fucking mouth. It wasn't even that bad what the FA said. Basically Spurs were beaten in the FA Cup semi-finals, with Kane turning in a performance that wouldn't have looked out of place down the local nursing home. So the FA released this. What's in Chris Smalling's pocket? Now I know what you're thinking. The answer is obviously incriminating photos of Ed Woodward. I mean, that's the only explanation I can give for him is surviving 8 years at Old Trafford. But no, they said Harry Kane. A punchline so predictable it might as well have been scripted with Chuck Lorre. I remember the last time I sat through one of his shows. After 6 minutes of forced canned laughter, I felt like punching myself in the face. Watford star Troy Deeney leaves his wife 29 for a model as his new girlfriend 26 writes mine next to social media picture of footballer. So despite looking like something out of Shark Tale, apparently Troy Deeney found himself in a bit of a love triangle. Once again, lads, who gives a shit? West Ham ace Andy Carroll was seen drinking pints till the early hours before his team lost 4-1 to Swansea City. No shit, it's Andy Carroll. Would not be surprised if his blood levels were made up of 60% Carlsberg. Wolves confirm no action against hero ball boy who seized ball from Hull staff. I'm going back to bed. Alright lads, considering I'm about to cough up my fucking spleen, I think that's gonna be where we're gonna fucking edit. That was a shambles of a video. I really did just shit that one out, but yeah, I'm dying. I'm probably gonna collapse within 20 seconds of turning off the fucking camera. But don't worry, I am back and the videos will get better. Trust me on that. If you have enjoyed, probably haven't to be fair. I mean, considering I didn't enjoy doing that, you probably didn't. If by some miracle you did enjoy that shit show of a bollocks, don't forget to give it a like, share and subscribe. And as always, I'll talk to you in a while.